Hello, welcome to the Sound of Science, the place where we deconstruct unscientific bogus and silly scams. Let's go get them. This is Tom Brown. I made some videos about him in the past. He's a pastor in Texas, and one of the worst examples of low-life religious grifters to be found on YouTube. This man is a disgrace to modern society. He demands from his gullible following that they pay him money, and he promises that if they give him their money, God will make them rich, which of course is a total scam. But that's not all. Tom threatens his gullible followers that if they don't pay him their money, they are violating God's will. It's totally disgusting. Just listen to this.
When you give money, money comes back to you, but multiplied. You reap what you sow. If you sow money, you reap money. You got to be generous with your wealth and give it away. You're going to have to sow some money into your church.
Now, we all know that Christianity has a mafia-style business model. Obey me, or I will drown you. Worship me, or I will stone you to death. Let the pastor fumble with your children, because he represents me. And don't think for a second that you can mock me, for I will see everything, and I will let you burn in hell for eternity. The basis of Christian doctrine is the threat of violence. So Christian children are brainwashed to be crapping their pants for this fantasy god, which will traumatize them for the rest of their lives. Grown men and women still fear the terror of their god, because their parents, teachers, and pastors threatened them over and over again with punishment for not going to church, not reading the Bible, and not saying their prayers. Consequently, officials of the church are real-life extensions of the tyrannical oppression that the Bible likes to spread. And Tom Brown is someone who abuses this power in order to force his vulnerable followers into handing over their money. It's absolutely disgusting, but paying Tom some money now and then is not good enough for Tom. He wants everything. He wants his followers to pay him over and over again for the rest of their lives. They're not allowed to give up, or else they violate God's will. No matter that you have to cancel your children's soccer club membership, Tom is ordering you to hand over that money. Please give me a bucket so that I can puke. What an exceptionally disgusting piece of crap this man is.
It's not just giving money one time or two times or giving it for a year. You can't give up on this. Now, here's the thing. God's not going to be mocked. That's the first thing Paul says. He's not going to be mocked. Give your effort. Give whatever you have.
You really need to see this, because this is the point where Tom totally goes berserk and shows his true colors. If I were a Christian myself, I would perhaps believe that this man is possessed by some kind of demon. He starts yelling at his followers, and he orders them to pay him their money. What a complete idiot.
Anyone who receives instruction in the word must share. Anyone who receives instruction must share. Must share. Anyone who receives instruction must share. Anyone must share. Isn't it time that you give and support the work of God and give your money?
So, this is what modern Christianity has become. A morally bankrupt cult that allows for creeps like Tom Brown to represent their religion, while he demands money from poor and struggling Americans who can barely pay their rent and pay their groceries. It's unbearable for me to realize that even in the 21st century, Christianity is still represented by the scum of the earth. Will this ever change? Maybe. But the only way to bring about change in Christianity is to educate people in critical and free thinking. Nobody should have the right to dictate your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Nobody should have the right to demand you to worship them. Nobody should have the right to burn you forever in hell. And anyone who does make such insane demands is not worth your respect or worship, and should be rejected, opposed, and battled if needed, until they leave you alone. If this God really exists, and if he's really great, then he should let you live in peace and freedom. without watching your every move, without punishing you for eternity, and without sending horrible pastors who demand money. This is the 21st century. The Bible is a silly book with terrible examples. It deserves a place in the museum of mistakes of the past. Humanity should move on and drop the shackles of religion. Only then this world would get a chance of real freedom, real justice, real fairness, real love, and real prosperity. Thanks for watching.